Fighting games might have died off completely had they not been revived back in 2008. But the good news is we now live in an age of modern fighters that are both approachable enough for newcomers and competitive enough for the pros. But you know how we do it on these top 10s? Only the 10 best can make this list. So hey, I'm Nervous Nick for Screw Attack's Top 10 Modern Fighting Games.
Number 10.
Everyone and their mother seems to have their favorite comic book characters, and fighting games let you create your dream matchups. That's hardly ever been more true than with Injustice 2. Pretty much every major, and sometimes not so major, DC hero and villain is here. Unlike most fighters, Injustice 2 is ridiculously customizable. And I don't just mean that you can deck out the Joker to make him look like Batman. This game lets you customize their movesets too. Injustice 2 does a lot of things even better than its predecessor, but I'm not gonna lie to you guys, the main reason the sequel makes the top 10 is because I can finally play as the Ninja Turtles in a modern fighting game. You can be Michelangelo and do what the dev team describes as pizza cancels. I love it so much. By the way, what evil ritual or blood sacrifice do I need to make to get another standalone TMNT fighting game?
Number 9.
Man, it's such a shame what happened to the Marvel vs. Capcom series. I get it, Marvel Infinite may have had a buttload of problems, but come on, it still deserved better than what it got. It's just too bad that there's not another famous franchise with beloved characters that could make an incredible team-based fighting game. Which is what I would say if I lived in a terrible alternate reality where Dragon Ball didn't exist. Dragon Ball FIGHTERZ is an absolute dream come true. A competitively balanced, gorgeously rendered fighting game done by Arc System Works, the best possible studio for the job? There is so much love put into this game. Not just for the fighting game players, but for the die-hard anime fans too. Almost every single attack by every single character is a reference to a memorable moment in the anime, or the movies, or even just single panels from the manga. Dragon Ball FIGHTERZ could have been higher, but its online modes are so unbearably laggy, and compared to Marvel vs. Capcom, the gameplay is pretty simplistic. But even at that didn't stop it from becoming the biggest fighting game on the market as I'm recording this top 10. Just one request for future updates. Give my boy Hit some real high and low options, please. I am dying out here.
Number 8.
Leave it to the big N to take any genre and put their own distinct Nintendo spin on it. When it comes to fighters, ARMS was an interesting experiment, but come on, we all know that Smash is their golden goose. Now, Smash Ultimate is still 3 months away from release as this top 10 is being made, but until then, Super Smash Bros. For Wii U is Nintendo's best modern fighter. It's got faster-paced gameplay compared to Brawl, the biggest roster out of every game on this list, and is still the most well-balanced Smash game ever made. Well, until Bayonetta came along, I guess. Speaking of characters, remember when Cloud was revealed? How mind-blowing was that? Being a Smash Brothers game, Smash Wii U also has the honor of being by far the most fun party fighter to play with upwards of 8 people at once. Heck, we'd Screw Attack wrap up almost every day with a few group matches. There is nothing better to wrap up a work week than put my friends in body bags with my Ninja Frog. You know, when I'm not accidentally killing my own self. They call it the Nick Special. I'm not kidding.
Number 7.
You know that incredible art style that Dragon Ball FIGHTERZ has? Well, Guilty Gear Xrd did it first. The most recent update to the series, Guilty Gear Xrd Rev 2, has the most complete roster to date, but then again, all Guilty Gear's really been missing since 2006 is Biken. Golly, this character is cool. But no matter which Xrd you're playing, this is anime fighting at some of its very best. Not only does the combo system make it super easy to jump in and start doing combos, but Guilty Gear boasts some of the absolute most creative characters in any fighting game out there. Elfelt lets you manually aim a sniper rifle anywhere you want. Faust throws random items on the screen. You can even be a man who fights from a bed and is in fact named Bedman. What even is this game? I don't know, but I kinda love it.
Number 6.
Fighting games may be hard work to keep balanced well, but that didn't stop Reverge Labs from creating the indie hit SKULLGIRLS. Between the beautiful artwork and animation, slick Art Deco aesthetic, and fearless fighter design, there's something here for every kind of fighting game fan. Whether you like your fighters 1v1, 2v2, or 3v3, Skullgirls has you covered. Better yet, this game lets you mix and match those playstyles as much as you want. Plus, unlike a lot of big budget brawlers, Skullgirls rocks GGPO netcode. Basically, that just means that even if you're in a laggy online match, there's not a crazy annoying input delay to compensate. I'm looking at you, Dragon Ball. It's 2018! Skullgirls takes number 6 for all of the passion put into it. Everything from the mechanics that remove unblockable and infinite combos, to the community that raised over $75,000 in the EVO 2013 donation drive and still supports this wonderful game today.
Number 5.
Since 1992, "Get over here" has been the battle cry of a generation. Much love to MKX and all, but Mortal Kombat, otherwise known as Mortal Kombat 9, is the ultimate game for MK fans. All of the classic characters you could have possibly cared about are all here, except for Meat. Whatever happened to Meat? Or Mocap? There are literally dozens of us, NETHERREALM. Anyway, MK9 completely reinvented Mortal Kombat for a new age of fighting games built for both the competitive and the casual. X-ray moves and new fatalities crank the carnage up to 11, just like any self-respecting Mortal Kombat fan would want it. Plus there's tag team mode, the hilarious test your luck mode, and a story mode that no fighting game has beaten before or since. No matter what you're looking for in a fighting game, Mortal Kombat 9 is one of the most complete fighters you could ever hope to buy.
Number 4.
Well, obviously Marvel vs. Capcom had to show up on this list sometime. Even though Marvel Infinite plays really well, it would be a little wrong to not give this spot to Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. It's got a simple control scheme, endless combo creativity, and a fantastic roster with all kinds of unique playstyles. This game was my crack in 2011, but the only thing more fun than playing Marvel 3 might just be watching it. And that's not a bad thing. In fact, it's pretty great. Ever since I first saw it in motion, Marvel vs. Capcom 3 has stood out as having the best presentation of any game I've ever played. The comic book style graphics, the amazing EDM soundtrack, the announcer, and even the little bits of banter that characters all share make UMVC3 a fighting game spectacle that has yet to be topped. In fact, I'm just gonna let this random piece of gameplay speak for itself.
Live and let die. Fight! Cool! Advancing guard! Awesome!
I was so into the way this game looked and sounded before release that I would actually play it in the background like Spotify while I was working. Yeah, it's a little weird, but the only other game I have ever done that with is...
Number 3.
Okay, so compared to the rest of the top half of this list, this one is a little bit more underrated. I've repeatedly admitted on top 10s that I'm a die-hard KI fan. But even setting fanboyism aside, you will hardly find a modern fighter with the accessibility and depth of the 2013 revival of Killer Instinct. It's free to play, it comes with a good tutorial mode, and combos are easier to do and break than ever before. But it all comes with a level of competitive depth that stands tall with the best of them once you learn KI's unique combo system. Throw in some extremely creative character designs, plenty of single-player modes, the undisputed best online netcode ever in a fighting game, and, personal opinion, feel free to fight me on this, one of the best soundtracks of the decade. Hey, I might be a Killer Instinct shill, but I'm a shill for great reasons, okay? And if you ever see me playing it online, invite me to a match and get a free whooping. I'm dead serious. That's my gamer tag, SA Nervous Nick. Send me an invite, lose for free.
Number 2.
Bandai Namco's flagship 3D fighting series has had a couple of hits in the modern age alone, but it's Tekken 7 that truly deserves number 2. This game stays true to the classic Tekken gameplay, but like any current fighting game, it adds in a few new things to get as many players hooked as possible. For the first time, characters can activate Rage Arts, which are flashy and powerful super moves that can bring epic comebacks. And for the casual fans who'd rather just play purely for fun, Tekken 7's got a pretty beefy story mode, mini-games, and the most absurd character customizations ever. You can make shower nozzles come out of their heads. Why? Plus, it's got a lot of cool guest characters like Akuma from Street Fighter, Geese Howard from Fatal Fury, Noctis from Final Fantasy XV, and apparently Negan from the fricking Walking Dead. Like, who's next? Tinky Winky from Teletubbies? Actually, Tinky Winky would be a day one buy for me. I would main Tinky Winky.
It's number 1.
Is it tacky to put the game that started the modern fighting game craze at number 1? Yeah, maybe it would be if Street Fighter 4 weren't so obviously deserving of top honors. And besides, number 1 technically belongs to the final update, Ultra Street Fighter 4. Listen, no fighting game is truly balanced perfectly, but Ultra Street Fighter 4 is surprisingly even level, especially with a roster of 44 characters. Speaking of which, there are dozens of returning favorites from just about every stage of Street Fighter's past, plus some cool new characters to boot. But beyond just the roster, the 4 series struck a balance between Street Fighter 2 and 3 thanks to the game-changing focus attack. It could do everything from extend block strings and combos to absorbing oncoming attacks. Street Fighter 4 takes number 1 not just because it led the charge for every modern fighting game that's come out since. All these years later, it truly is still the greatest of them all. Besides, compared to Street Fighter 5, I'll take 4 any day. For our secret number 11, it's really a shame that the King of Fighters 14 didn't keep the same amazing sprite work of previous games, but when it plays better than ever, it's hard to complain too much. You get 3 different kinds of supers to match on Wake Up. Look at my Naruto hand jutsu.